Here on Polyface Farm, we've always lived by the rhythms of nature. The sun rises, the sun sets, and in between, we work the land, nurture our animals, and grow our crops. It's a cycle as old as time itself, and one that we hold dear. We've learned to respect the land and work with its cycles. Each season brings its own set of tasks and challenges, and over the years, we've become attuned to these natural rhythms. We plant in the spring, tend in the summer, harvest in the fall, and rest in the winter. But lately, those rhythms are changing. The weather patterns we once relied on are becoming less predictable. The gentle rains of spring are now often replaced by sudden downpours or prolonged dry spells. The seasons are less predictable. Winters that were once cold and snowy are now milder, and summers that were warm and pleasant are now scorching hot. This unpredictability makes it harder to plan and manage our farming activities. We're seeing hotter summers and more extreme weather, heat waves that stress our crops and animals, and storms that can destroy in minutes what took months to grow. These extreme conditions are becoming the new norm. This is climate change, and it's impacting everyone, especially us farmers. Our livelihoods depend on the land and the weather, and when those change, we have to change too. It's a daunting challenge, but one we must face head-on. Goats, those hardy and adaptable creatures, are feeling the pressure too. They may be resilient, but even they have their limits. The changing climate affects their grazing patterns, their health, and their productivity. Higher temperatures, droughts, and shifting rainfall patterns all pose challenges for goat farmers. Water sources dry up, pastures become less nutritious, and the overall stress on the animals increases. It's a tough situation, but one we're determined to navigate. But don't think for a minute that we're giving up. Farmers are nothing if not resilient. We've faced challenges before, and we've always found a way through. This time will be no different. No, sir, we're farmers, and we're a resourceful bunch. We know how to adapt, how to innovate, and how to persevere. It's in our blood, passed down through generations of farmers who faced their own challenges and overcame them. Just like we adapt our methods to the land, we're finding ways to adapt to a changing climate. We're experimenting with new crops, new techniques, and new technologies. We're learning from each other and from experts in the field. This means choosing tougher goat breeds, managing our pastures smarter, and finding ways to make our farms more resilient. It's about being proactive, not reactive, and taking steps now to ensure our future. And yes, even harnessing the power of the sun. Renewable energy sources like solar power are becoming an integral part of our farming operations. They help reduce our carbon footprint and make us less dependent on fossil fuels. It's about ensuring our farms thrive, not just survive. We want to leave a legacy for future generations, a farm that's not only productive but also sustainable and resilient. Climate change is a challenge, no doubt. It's a formidable opponent, but one that we can face with determination and ingenuity. Every challenge is an opportunity in disguise, but it's also an opportunity to rethink how we farm, to innovate, and to create a more sustainable future. It's a chance to lead by example and show that with the right mindset and tools, we can overcome even the toughest challenges. By working with nature, not against it, we can create more resilient and sustainable farms for the future. It's about harmony, balance, and respect for the natural world. Together, we can build a brighter, more sustainable future for farming. Goats might be tough, but even they have their limits. These resilient creatures are known for their ability to thrive in various environments, from rocky mountains to arid deserts. However, when it comes to extreme heat, even the hardiest goats can struggle. Just like us, goats can suffer from heat stress when temperatures soar. This condition occurs when their bodies are unable to cool down effectively, leading to a range of health issues. You might notice goats panting heavily, seeking out shade, or even becoming lethargic as they try to cope with the heat. Heat stress can cause all sorts of problems, from lower milk production to difficulty breeding. When a goat is overheated, its body diverts energy away from processes like milk production and reproduction to focus on cooling down. This can result in a noticeable drop in milk yield and can make it harder for goats to conceive. In extreme cases, it can even be fatal. Prolonged exposure to high temperatures without adequate relief can lead to heat stroke, a serious and often deadly condition. Signs of heat stroke in goats include rapid breathing, weakness, and collapse. Immediate veterinary attention is crucial in such cases. We've been seeing hotter summers here on the farm. Climate change has led to more frequent and intense heat waves, making it increasingly challenging to keep our goats comfortable. Each year, we notice the summers getting a bit hotter and lasting a bit longer. That means we've got to be extra careful about keeping our goats cool. We've had to adapt our farming practices to ensure our goats remain healthy and productive. This includes monitoring weather forecasts closely and preparing in advance for heat waves. We make sure they have plenty of shade and fresh water. Shade structures, whether natural or man-made, are essential in providing relief from the sun. Fresh, cool water is equally important, as it helps regulate their body temperature and prevents dehydration. We also avoid handling them during the hottest parts of the day. Handling and moving goats can increase their stress levels and body temperature, so we schedule any necessary activities for the cooler parts of the day, such as early morning or late evening. Remember, goats are creatures of habit. They thrive on routine and can become stressed by sudden changes. This is why it's important to introduce any new measures gradually, allowing them time to adjust. They don't adjust well to sudden changes. Abrupt shifts in their environment or care can lead to increased stress and health issues. Consistency is key in maintaining their well-being. So, when the mercury rises, it's our job to make the transition as smooth as possible for them. This means being proactive and attentive to their needs, ensuring they have everything required to stay cool and comfortable. By paying close attention to their needs and making adjustments to our routines, we can help our goats stay comfortable and productive, even in the heat. It's a continuous effort, but one that's essential for the health and happiness of our herd. Drought is a farmer's worst nightmare. Not only does it parch the land, but it also makes it harder to grow the food our animals need. When pastures dry up, we're forced to rely on more expensive supplemental feed. Water, the lifeblood of any farm, becomes even more precious during a drought. We have to carefully manage our water resources, ensuring our goats have enough to drink. It might mean digging deeper wells, installing more efficient watering systems, or even hauling water from elsewhere. Drought tests our resilience and forces us to be more resourceful. It's a reminder that we're not just raising animals, we're stewards of the land. By adapting our practices and using water wisely, we can help our farms weather the dry spells. Section 4. Too much or not enough. Navigating erratic rainfall. It used to be that we could set our clocks by the seasons. Spring brought gentle rains, summer was warm and dry, autumn had its harvest showers, and winter was cold and crisp. But these days, the rain is less predictable than ever. The once reliable patterns have given way to uncertainty, leaving farmers in a constant state of adaptation. We might go weeks without a drop, watching our fields turn to dust and our crops wither under the relentless sun, only to be hit with torrential downpours that flood pastures and erode topsoil. These sudden deluges can wash away months of hard work in a matter of hours. These erratic rainfall patterns make it harder to plan and manage our grazing systems. The unpredictability forces us to constantly monitor weather forecasts and adjust our strategies on the fly. We have to be more adaptable, always ready to respond to the changing conditions. This means moving our goats to higher ground during heavy rains to prevent them from getting stranded in flooded areas. Moving our goats to higher ground during heavy rains is crucial. It ensures their safety and helps us manage the land more effectively. Rotating them through pastures more frequently to prevent overgrazing is another key strategy. This not only preserves the health of the land, but also ensures that our livestock have access to fresh, nutritious forage. Climate change is making farming a more challenging endeavor. The increased frequency of extreme weather events means that we have to be constantly vigilant and proactive in our approach. But it's also pushing us to be more innovative and resourceful in how we manage our land and livestock. We're developing new techniques and tools to cope with these changes, from advanced irrigation systems to better soil management practices. By working with the natural cycles, even as they become less predictable, we can find ways to thrive. Embracing biodiversity and fostering resilient ecosystems are part of our strategy. Even as they become less predictable, we can still find patterns and trends that help us make informed decisions. Technology and traditional knowledge go hand in hand in this endeavor. We can build more resilient farms for the future. By staying adaptable, innovative, and connected to the land, we can overcome the challenges posed by erratic rainfall and climate change. Section 5. Picking the right goats, heat-tolerant breeds. Not all goats are created equal, especially when it comes to handling heat. Some breeds, like the Spanish and Boer goats, are naturally more tolerant of high temperatures. They've got looser skin, shorter hair, and a higher tolerance for heat stress. Choosing the right breed for your climate is one of the smartest things a goat farmer can do. It's about working with nature, not against it. If you know your farm is prone to hot summers, selecting a heat-tolerant breed can make all the difference in their health and productivity. Of course, even the toughest breeds need a little help sometimes. Shade, fresh water, and good ventilation are essential for keeping all goats comfortable during hot weather. Section 6. Keeping goats cool. Practical tips for beat the heat. When the temperatures rise, we have to be extra mindful of our goats' well-being. Just like us, they need ways to stay cool and hydrated. Fortunately, there are some simple, practical things we can do to help them beat the heat. First and foremost, make sure they have access to plenty of shade. Trees are natural shade providers, but you can also build shelters or use shade cloths. Good ventilation is crucial too. If you're keeping goats in a barn, make sure it's well ventilated. Always have fresh, clean water available. Goats drink more when it's hot, so check their water supply frequently and refill it as needed. You can also give them cool treats, like watermelon rinds or frozen fruits and vegetables.